Stop and watch this video if you are considering going to a new brokerage, whether you are already experienced and thinking about going to a new brokerage or you're brand new and you're considering your very first brokerage. These are the 21 questions I think you need to get answered before you go and make that move so that you don't make a mistake. What is going on? My name is Mister Mongo, or of course you can call me Andrew. I've been in real estate for almost 9 years now. I've been at 4 different brokerages, and I wish somebody would have told me some of these things that I'm about to tell you guys. So we come up with a list of 21 different questions that I think you should be asking before you go to a new brokerage, whether you're being recruited, whether you're brand new and you're looking for your first brokerage. A bunch of these questions are going to apply to you. They might not all apply to you, and that's all right. You can go ahead and skip those. If you want an easy PDF, you can go down into the comment or into the remark section underneath this video. We'll have a free downloadable PDF on there so that you can take this with you and you can kind of adjust it however you want. And I've actually got some extra things in that PDF that I'm not going to talk about in this video, to kind of some extra questions, follow-on questions in case the main question is important to you, so that you can get all your questions answered. The worst thing, I see agents do this all the time, they go to a new brokerage and then 3 months in they realize it's not for them. Whenever you switch to a new brokerage, any of you guys that have done this before, you already know, if you switch, your business goes down almost all the time. Now, rare exception, sometimes you just happen to have a nice little burst of business or something like that. But getting all the systems set up and everything that you're normally having to do just breaks the mold, breaks your cycle, and messes up your day-to-day. And you don't want to do that and then have to do it again 3 months later. Even if you don't have any business during that period, like let's say you're brand new or something, it is just a lot of pain, a lot of extra work. You want to make sure that that is the right place for you before you swap, or at least the right place for that phase of business that you're in. Now, I'm not just going to give you these questions and then that's it. I'm going to actually explain why that you need to be asking each of these, and some of them, like I said, will be important to you in your business, and some of them you might be like, I don't even care about that, Andrew. Got it. Not a big deal. But let's go ahead and start running through them. Before we jump into that, though, I do want to thank all the returning subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new here and you're looking to enhance your real estate business, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ding that little bell so that you'll be notified every single time I do a new video. I've also got a podcast, and you can find me on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all of that good stuff. I'm giving away all the stuff that I've learned over the last 9 years. With over 900 homes sold, I am a team leader as well. So I'm just giving it all out there for you for free, guys. I'm not asking for anything. I may try to sell courses or something down the road, but I'm not doing that right now. Right now, it's just about, let's see what kind of information I can get out and let's see how you guys react to it. So if you do like it, hit that like button, all the good stuff that all the YouTubers tell you, but let's get done with that and let's go ahead and jump right into this. Now, these questions are not in any particular order whatsoever. I did try to lump them together, so all the commission questions in one section, all the values questions in one section, just to make it a little easier to follow. The first one on my list is, can you tell me about the cultures and the value of your brokerage? This is important to know. You want to make sure that your culture and your values align with theirs. If they're, let's say, a brokerage, it's a small boutique, they run it like a team, and they're like, it is to be the number one in this area or in this city, and that matches with what you want. You're like, I don't care what I got to do to be number one. That's your place. But if you're like, hey, I want to be surrounded by fun people and just sell a few homes here and there to book my vacations with, it's just fun money for me, and I want to have whatever, a water cooler to chat around and some fun agents to be around, somebody that's that aggressive might not be for you. Number 2, and one that gets overlooked especially by experienced agents, is what kind of training do you offer your agents? Even if you feel like you're set in your ways and you've got a couple of pillars, and you get business from your social media, and you get business from your past clients, and you're sort of good with that, you never know when you're going to want to step up that game. So having a good training platform is very, very good. Some brokerages will offer an array of online training, but nothing in person. Some will be only in person and not really offer anything online, so you're at the whim of whenever they can get a trainer in there. Some will bring in professionals, some will just have a dedicated person that sells business or that sells real estate in your office teaching some of these courses. I'll tell you this, brokerages need to be focused around training. If you're looking at it and you're going, there's no training here, I can't find any decent training, nobody can tell me about a good training program they have, it's probably not a very good business model, in my personal opinion, because I think that's one of the biggest values that a brokerage offers. There are exceptions to that. So if you're a broker watching this, like, well, we don't do training, but it's because I don't care. It doesn't matter. But for the bulk of agents, they're going to need training, even if they are experienced. You never know when the market's going to shift and one of your pillars isn't working like it used to be. You need to be able to pick up something else, or maybe you just want to change it up from time to time. Number 3, what kind of marketing and advertising does this brokerage do to promote their agents? This is going to be a wide variety of answers depending on who you go to. There will be, whenever I say big box people, I'm talking about bigger chains, your Keller Williams, your ERA, EXP, Coldwell Banker, or Better Homes and Garden, all the bigger names that you know. When I talk about boutique, I talk about smaller than that. They're all going to do something different. Some of them might not offer any marketing at all. There are 100% companies out there. There are other companies that they don't focus on this kind of thing. They just go, no, we're just providing you with the tools. We want you to do all the marketing. That's perfectly fine if that matches with what you want. You just need to make sure that whatever they say here matches as closely as possible to what you're looking for. Number 4 is a really big one for me, and that's what technology are you providing to us? As a team leader myself, and even when I was a solo agent previously, the technology that they give you can make or break your business. Now, I'm an analytic personality, so there's going to be a lot of people watching this that's like, hey, I'm a people person. I could just go out and I just be myself and the business comes to me and I don't really need to worry about any of the technology. That's awesome. I'm actually applauding you for that. That's cool. You are losing business. I can guarantee it by not being a little bit systematized, and that's all right. If it works for you, it works for you. But for me personally, what technology they give us is very important, because once I get so many people in my database, I start losing it. So CRM is important, and the different back-end systems, do they talk to each other? Are they easy? Is it going to be easy for my team to implement? Or is it going to be a whole bunch of training that I'm going to have to do because we don't know how to use this technology, or it's too complicated? These are all things that I like to know personally, and that's why technology is important to me. Number 5 on my list is, what fees am I responsible for? Every brokerage is different on this. Back when I was at Keller Williams, it was roughly $200 a month. I know that wasn't the exact number. I think it was like $168 or something like that. I don't know what it is now. It may be higher because that was 8 years ago. And I've been at other brokerages where it was $100. The current brokerage I'm at right now doesn't charge anything. Absolutely everything is given to you. So there's no monthly fees outside of what you already have to pay for your Supra Key and your MLS and anything else that you need to do your job. Number 6 on the list is another one that's important for everybody in case you need it, and that is, do you provide mentors to agents? If you're experienced, you've already got all your ways, you're kind of set in your ways and everything, you might not need a mentor as much. You probably already have coaching of some sort, where you might have another mentor or a friend that you bounce stuff off of. That's perfectly fine. But I'm a firm believer that everybody needs a mentor in this industry, whether you're starting out brand new or not. For instance, my first mentor was somebody I sought out. It was a friend's realtor. And I spent the summer before getting my real estate license helping her clean condos and stuff, because she had a business on the side that did this, to get closer to her, to figure out, is this the person I want to learn from? And she ended up teaching me literally like make or break my career sort of thing. I was a heavy introvert. I was just leaving the military. I had very, very crude language still, a lot of cursing and just stuff military folks do, or a lot of us did. And it needed to be broken. And without a good mentor, it would have taken me a lot longer to do that. So a good mentor is absolutely vital, especially if you're newer. But even as you grow, I think you will always need one. And if they don't offer one, then you need to be okay with that. You need to know that you need to find your mentor elsewhere. Or try to find somebody in the office that is willing to do it for you. Maybe they don't offer it as part of the brokerage, but there might be people in the office that are like, hey, let's bounce some stuff off each other at lunch one day. Number 7, how are leads distributed to agents? This is going to solve the question of, do you offer leads? So it's going to kind of be a double whammy on this one. If they say, oh, we don't offer leads, everything is completely on your own, that's fine if that's what you're looking for, but you need to know whether or not lead flow is very important to you. Some brokerages are going to offer you a ton of lead flow, but the commission splits are generally going to be a little bit more rough in those, and they are going to ask for more. They are going to ask for a lot more accountability from you and making sure that these leads are getting contacted, versus other brokerages are going to be like, we'll give you all the tools and you can do it yourself, but we're not gonna shove those leads down your face. And then other ones are gonna do a combination of those two. They'll offer some leads, but they'll be at a worse split. But then your split on all your normal stuff is a lot better. So there's combinations and variations of all of these. So just make sure that you're asking about that. Now, if they do provide leads, a good follow-up question to that would be like, great, how are they handled? Are they given to me cold? Are these internet Facebook leads that are just coming through in droves and you're passing them out to 5 agents? Are you giving them to me exclusively? Are they being qualified before they even come to me? Are they setting an appointment? For instance, you've got some that will just give you the cold lead. They want you to make the 15 or so contacts that it takes to turn a lead. And you're going to have to go through 50 of them, 100 of them, 200 of them, depending on where the lead source is. If they're top of funnel, mid funnel, bottom funnel, whatever, they're going to require different amounts of work versus like somebody like for us on our team. Now, this is not brokerage. This is a team thing, but we spoon feed it. We nurture them, we qualify them, we make sure that they're good to go on all fronts. And then when they're ready to do a buyer consultation or a listing presentation with one of our professionals, they get spoon fed right to them. Here's all the notes and everything we know about them. Here's a warm handoff. They're already pre-approved. They're good to go. Now they just need to go find the next 3 homes that they want to look at and choose between those or what have you. So everybody's going to do it a little bit differently. Just make sure you're asking the question, because turning a cold lead is a skill that a lot of people take a long time to try to figure out. You need to know that if, let's say, you're newer or you don't have the kind of time to be slamming the phones and making these contacts every single day. Now, number 9 is also with leads. So if they don't offer leads, you don't need to ask this. But if they do, say, am I required to take leads? What if I want to take a vacation? Can I turn them off? Or am I going to have to be on my cruise ship and make sure that I get the internet package so that I can get leads so that I can call them while I'm trying to sip margaritas on the beach in Tahiti? You know what I mean? That would be a really good thing to know before you jump on your cruise. And number 10 is, what is your stance on real estate teams? Teams are growing in popularity for a reason. They're generally, when run properly, the average sale per agent on the team is much higher than it will be on a brokerage because there's more accountability, there's more dedicated training, there's just lots of other things that can be there. And of course, there's a ton of terrible teams out there too. So, don't lump them all into, well, team must be a great thing. But figure out what their stance is, because if they're completely against teams, and you decide, this brokerage does really good for you and they teach you all these great things, and then you're ready to start a team because you're so busy, you want to buy some of your time back, let's say, and they don't believe in that, well, you're going to have to make a hard decision. And that might be one that you want to find out ahead of time so that you're not blindsided by it later. Number 11 on this list is, do you have any teams at this brokerage and are they looking for people? If you're not looking to join a team in any capacity, this might be one of those questions that you skip, but it might be good knowledge to know because you just never know. Sometimes, a lot of people have this misconception about teams that they're going to make you, slam the phones or go door knocking or, whatever. And a lot of times it's quite the opposite. Sometimes it's just to bring some extra time back to the agents. Like, hey, you're going to join our team, give us a small percentage. We'll take care of all the admin stuff. We'll take care of all the paperwork. We'll make sure you get your own assistant. We'll make sure you get some help here. We'll make sure we take care of your social media. Whatever the case may be, a lot of times that's what you're doing, is just buying back some of your time, versus other times you're going to join a team so that you can learn how to really become a rock star and really just manage your time and take off the things that you don't need to have on your plate. Take those off so that you can focus on the things that you're best at, being in front of people, turning prospects, doing presentations and things like that. So now moving over into the commission split side of things, I wouldn't ask these questions too early. I purposely put them about halfway down because they're super important, but sometimes it comes off like the wrong vibe if you ask commission right out the gate. But it's very important to know. So number 12 is, what are the commission splits? What will I be on if I join you today? If I'm brand new, is it different than if I'm experienced? And if I am experienced, how much of a difference does it make? How high does it go? What's the cap that I'm getting? So that you can start looking at all the other services they're offering and see if that's worth it. Sometimes a really high split is not a bad thing if it makes sense for you. This is one thing that a lot of people get stuck on with teams. Well, the splits are really hard, and then the brokerage takes it, and then the team. And it's like, yeah, if you're going to lose 50% of your deal, but they take 80% of it off your plate so that you can do so much more, then it might be worth it depending on your goals. Or if you want to give up some of that because you're going to take away a whole bunch off your plate, the brokerage has, a transaction coordinator, marketing people, and all this other stuff, so you don't have to worry about that stuff and you just focus on selling. That might be valuable to you and you might be okay with a higher split. I would follow that up with the 13th question that I have on my list here, which is, does my split change with production? Some brokerages are going to have a set thing. Hey, when you earn this much, it goes to the next one. This much, it goes to the next one. Then it resets every year. Or it doesn't reset, or you stay there forever. Or no, we don't change our commission split at all. It is what it is. So many different answers to this question, and it makes a big difference in your pocket at the end of the day. 14 is one that I really like, that I never find anywhere else or anybody else suggesting that. And that is, What is the average income your agents make? You really want to know that, because if we're looking at the average across the board, and it's something like $45,000 the last time I looked is the average of a real estate agent, then you take into consideration taxes and marketing and everything else, and most real estate agents don't make very much money. And there's nothing wrong with that. And even if their number is really low and they say, well, our average is 40,000 here, but don't worry, the top 20% make X dollars or whatever, make 250,000. If you're willing to put in the work, you'll probably be up there, right? These are questions that are very important to know, because if you hear a really low number and you're thinking to yourself, well, it doesn't sound like you're offering much marketing or much training or, many leads, this is probably why. You can start putting these pieces of the puzzle together. And I would add on top of that, whenever they answer that question, is that gross or net? Are they giving you a GCI number, which is misleading, gross commission income, versus what they actually took home? If they're on a 50-50 split and their gross commission income is $150,000, you're thinking, well, they're making pretty good money, depending on what you consider good money. And then you actually look at it and you're like, whoa, well, they took 50% of it and they didn't offer enough for it or what have you. Now it's at 75. And that's what they actually took home, versus somebody else that's giving you a raw net number of like, they take home 200,000 or 150,000. Use the same example. That's way different than 150,000 gross. Number 15. This one's on my list because there's so many companies out here that are doing this now, and everybody's had to kind of follow suit, even the big box brokerages that didn't need this before. And that is, do you offer any compensation if I bring more agents to you? If I go out there and people love working with me so much, they ask me about my brokerage, and I say, it's a great place to work. I love it here. Are you offering anything for that? Some of the companies will offer nothing. Others will offer 3% of everything they do for the first year, then 1% for the next 2 years after that, or 5% the first year, and then nothing after that. And then others offer an actual compensation model where you're going to get a certain percentage of everything they bring into the company in perpetuity, and even off the people that they bring into the business. This is companies like that I work for right now. LPT Realty does this. EXP is a big one. Keller Williams, the kind of the original OG of this model, right? And of course, they're a little bit different with profit share versus revenue share and things like that. I'm not here to get in a back and forth on all of that portion, but just stating that this kind of stuff is important, because this gives you income from the people that you bring in. And if you bring in the right people, they should reward you for that, in my opinion. But that might not be important to you even a little bit. In that case, skip that question. Number 16, do you have a retirement plan or a long-term wealth building plan? Is there anything, can I buy into the company at any point? Is there this revenue for bringing people in and getting some off theirs? What does it look like? In general, what does it look like? Do they have a fund I can buy into? There's so many different ways this can go. And this comes up because so many real estate agents get out and don't have anything. I watch it all the time. They get out and they're trying to sell their database to people. Hell, some get out and don't even do that. They don't even put in the work that they need to sell their database to somebody, which if you're watching this and you're near retirement or something, keep in mind, you can take your whole database and say, hey, I'm going to give you these 500 people. These are my top 500. I'm going to call them, make a warm introduction. And if you do any transactions with any of them, pay me 10%, 25%, 30%, what have you. There are a lot of people out there that will do that, or just outright sell it to you. Hey, give me $30,000. I'll make a warm handoff. Got it, whatever. The point is there a long-term plan that the brokerage is offering as well, so that you don't have to go through that kind of pain trying to figure it out, or get your own IRA in place, make your own investments and things you should be doing anyway, but not everybody in this industry does. Number 17, another one that came up because of these other companies doing this kind of stuff. Is this an agent-owned company, or is this a private company, or is it a public company? Do I get stock? Can I buy into stock naturally? Do I get awarded stock when I do so much business? Do I get awarded stock if I bring more people into the company that bring in more business? If you're helping the company along, do I get any benefit from that? And this has been a big popular topic right now. When EXP came on the scene originally, they started offering stock and nobody else was really doing it. It's like, great. Well, now a lot of companies are having to do that, right? That's why a lot of people have kind of followed that model, because the brokerages are starting to realize that it's the agents that brings in most of the money. It's not the shareholders. It's not the top line revenue people. It's not the top 3 owners in the company or what have you in most cases. So do we get any benefit from that? 19 is one that I love. How long do most of your agents stay at your brokerage? That's a good one, because it's really going to show you what kind of brokerage that you're entering into. If it's a family-oriented one, I've been at one of these. I loved it. It felt very good. And financially, it wasn't like the best move. That's why we're not there. But I really loved it. The people there were amazing. And the tenure of the agents was really, really high. There were people that have been in this company for 35 years since it started, for this particular franchise. And that's incredible and something really good to know, because if you're looking for that family atmosphere, you're looking for a tighter, close-knit group of people to work with, to enjoy your work balance or the work side of your work-life balance, then that's a question you're definitely going to need to know. If they say, well, everybody here normally stays for 2 years, well, there's probably a reason there's high turnover. It's probably because their pitch sounds really good, probably while you're in there interviewing with them, and then you actually get there and people aren't liking it, or the vibe just isn't there, or people are just growing and moving on. Who knows? Number 20, are there any meetings or trips you're going to require me to go on? This is a big one, especially if you like your freedom. You don't want somebody telling you what you can and can't do, or, they have a meeting every Monday and you don't want to get up that early because you like to, have a little fun on the weekends, what have you. You need to know this so that you're not stepping into kind of a frustrating work environment where they're going, where the heck were you? It's Monday at 7 a.m. You're supposed to be here. We all make calls for 3 hours. If that's not the kind of work lifestyle you want, then it's good to know that up front. And then number 21 on my list is, are there any activities you're going to require of me? Do you want me in the office from certain times? Do you need me to sit floor from a certain time? Do you require me to show up at Wednesdays at 5 p.m. to cold call for 3 hours with everybody else so that we can do a team bonding activity? Or every Friday we all go get lunch together? These are all really good things to make note of in case some of it sounds like something you don't want to do. Or it might even excite you. You might be like, this is awesome. You guys are going to hold me accountable. And if that's what you want, then that's important too. So I know that was a mouthful. That's 21 questions that I was able to come up with. You can also Google this stuff. I'm sure there's tons of different articles out there for it. But these are the ones that I really like. I like to make sure that I'm hitting a few different avenues here. So whether or not you're sitting in front of a broker, or you're sitting in front of a managing broker, or a recruiter, or just somebody in the company that's just trying to get you to come over because they liked doing deals with you, or they like you and they think it would be a good fit for you, then great. And if you are curious about why I picked up and moved my entire team into the brokerage that I am at, I would love to talk to you about that. We offer a lot of really awesome stuff, which is why we moved. So all of my information will jump on the screen. You can reach out to me on any of my social media to talk to me about it. Or of course, we can schedule a call. You can call here and one of my team members will answer and get you on my schedule, and we'll chat then. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and put it down in the comment section down below, or of course reach out, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. See ya. Ooh. Bloopers!